Okay guys, I'm back for another cast on the Sorcerer. So, let me get in first here. And as you can see, by the way, I made a couple of extra characters. It's both the mules, a magic mule and a mule. And then I got my normal Sorcerer character here, nightmare difficulty. So, I'll get back to the mules. So, after the last video that I recorded, I think I was around 70 million experience and I was level 36. That has changed a bit as back then I had made a total of I think 13 or 14 nightmare runs where I do the last 4 levels on hell, meaning 13, 14, 15, 16. I do these over and over again in order to get good experience and a chance to get some loot as well. So since then I've been doing an additional 11 runs and my current experience is now not 70 million but 126,855,253 and I'm level 38. So why do so many unrecorded runs? Well, it's simply because that doesn't really happen that much. It's an old game and it's, you know, it quickly becomes rather repetitive. Just gonna go check the blacksmith.
Whoa, what
if
can
he
I do
has
for
anything
you?
interesting. Nope. So, and that's the normal sort of when you talk to the vendors now, it's very rarely that they have anything of interest. And that's, I don't know if it's a flaw in the game, you could say it is, but it's a problem that you don't, I'm at a stage now where as level 38, where I don't really need gold anymore in the game. The only thing I need gold for is to replenish my mana and to repair my gear if I have taken any physical hits. By the way, the last run, I haven't gotten anything new to equip on my Sorcerer. Oh, it's not true. I think I got this one though. I bought it from the blacksmith. Yeah. Very first item I click, oh, by the way, it's a new item. I got this item, it was slightly better than the old one. I think the old one had all resist, let's say, I don't know, 29% and then maybe 17 to magic. So it's slightly better. I bought it from the blacksmith, so occasionally he will have a better item. But if he was to, when I talk to him now, for instance, when I make a new game, if he was to have an item that I would like to have, then I'm just gonna go down, make some gold, and then I can come up and buy it. There's a little bit of a trap there if you are very close to level. If he has,
Whoa,
I think
what can I do for you?
If you get a level, he will exchange his top 3 levels, meaning that the top 3 will disappear and the items below will sort of move upwards, and then there will be 3 new items in the bottom. So that's a bit of a trap, you could say, if you want to have one of the top 3 items and you almost have a level. That could become an issue. So anyway, about spells, by the way, they're all capped at -1. So currently my top sort of normally inbuilt in the game spell level maximum is 15. I probably said this before in a previous video, but due to my plate here, as you can see, the bottom line says spells are increased 1 level. That means that I got my top levels of spells so far at the moment is 16, and they're all 16 -1. It's a spell I don't use, so it doesn't matter much. It's called, let me see, where are we? It's elemental. It's there. It's level 14. So if I can read 2 more books or find them, and I will eventually, then yeah, all the spells I have will be capped, including all of the expensive spells that I don't use. For instance, Bone Spirit and Bloodstar, just to name a few. I'm still doing the same sort of workhorse. That means Fireball, Chain Lightning, Stone Curse, and Teleport. And before I move down, I set up the Mana Shield, probably my most important spell. And just a minor thing, last run, I got this ring. Oh, it's not true, I got this ring actually. I had this one equipped before, Drake's Ring of Vigor. It's a pretty good ring. But I found a ring I would argue is slightly better for Sorcerer at least. It's only 4 extra mana points, but on the other hand, I haven't lost my mana shield yet, so I think I'll just take it. This ring is pretty good, especially for Warrior, as it will give you, if you were Warrior, 49 mana points as it says, and then 22 Vitality. But 22 Vitality for Warrior is the double amount of what Sorcerer gets, so that means for this ring for Warrior will be 49 mana points and 40 hit points, whereas for Sorcerer, as you can see here, if I exchange it, the hit points will only go up with 20, so for 114 to 134. That's just how the sort of built-in mechanic are for, the different classes in the game. I'm gonna leave the ring here for now. I'm pretty confident that I can kick some butt down below, and the reason why I'm still on Nightmare and I haven't moved on to Hell difficulty is that I'm still getting maximum experience, and I figured out the formula for maximum experience. I'm just gonna go down. It's your character level times 200 experience. That means mobs can give me maximum at the moment 38 times 200, meaning 7,600. And we can test that if I can find a single mob. You can see here we end up with 55,253, the last 5 digits. If I add 7,600 to that, then I'm at 63,053. So let's see if we can find a single mob to kill. It's easier said than done. Okay, we got quite a few here, to say the least. Let's see if I can kill one. So yeah, it should be 62. No, just gonna fall. You know what? Just gonna kill these guys. Then leave one. Okay, they don't care much for fire. Yeah, I'm just gonna try my math again here. So I'm at 79,000. If I add 7,600, that's 38 times 200. So just gonna try again. 7,600 on top of the 79,000. That's 86,600. And it actually didn't give that fully, and that means that this particular mob is not giving me full experience. I've seen it once before, but apparently this particular mob here is showing sort of that the in-game sort of build mechanic will give me slightly less than the maximum possible experience gained. These mobs, these sort of orange drakes here, whatever they're called, I've seen them in caves. Whereas, for instance, this guy is Blood Knight. It's one of it's one of the top tier mobs at all. So this guy will definitely give me full experience, meaning 7,600 on top of this. I'm just gonna re-stone curse him. So 7,600 again on top of this is 92,600. And as you can see there, 92,600. He will give me max experience. There are very few mobs on the first level here on level 13 that won't give me full experience. Yeah, I've seen it once before, and naturally when I had to sort of do my example here of why it was so good being here on Nightmare, because I'm getting full possible experience, and then I didn't. That's just typical. But I intend to stay here for a little while longer. I don't know exactly when, but when the experience starts to become, you know, way less than the maximum possible, meaning my character level times 200, then I'm gonna shift to Hell. And I'm probably gonna do sort of all the levels, sort of. I'm not skipping anything. meaning that I'm gonna start up in the cathedral. By the way, I was 100. I'm around 127 million now. Just to give you an idea. You can see now. Just to give you an idea of how much experience I can get for a full clear of the 4 levels here. But besides that, you can maybe figure out since my last run that he's been polstered by, especially by drop the ring, by the way. Especially by having my spells sort of capped out. The ring that dropped, it was from one of these sort of low tier mobs here. Drake says so it's not that important if I find it or not. The chance that it should give some useful stats on the ring, it's there, by the way. It's very, it's slim to none, let me put it like that. So the Blood Knights are it's the guys that are usually down on the last level by Diablo. Oh yeah, and the last stat that I need to sort of max out is Vitality, and as you can see here, 1 extra Vitality gives me 1 extra hit point. I'm not quite sure what the cap is, it might be maybe even up to 100. Doesn't really matter, I don't need Vitality that much. The only sort of reason I can see to have increase my vitality further is a very slight chance that if I lost my mana shield, then there would be a slightly higher chance for me to survive. Well, but this is sort of a classic setup, you could say, where we got sort of one of the mobs, meaning the Blood Knights, are immune to lightning, and the other mob is not immune to fireballs. So I might as well sort of just make it easier on myself and go full fireball. On occasion, if there's a ton of these drakes or whatever they're called, then I could go chain lightning, like here, for instance. If I can sort of cone them, have them come to me in sort of a cone. But the reason why the ring that dropped is not that interesting, there's a very slight chance, I would say, that it could be of any use, but it has to do with that the drakes are fairly low level when I can. Meaning and I know that because I couldn't get full experience for them. That means that loot dropped from lower end mobs is not that interesting as, for instance, the Blood Knights here, which is top tier mobs. Blood Knights and Advocates, the guys that cast the fireballs down by the Diablo, have a chance drop better loot. It's not like it's guaranteed. So the shield here dropped from one of the Blood Knights, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna pick it up for now. And yeah, Stone Curse can be good. It's more like situational, so if I'm a little bit lazy or in trouble, then I can sort of slow the pace of the game. It's a bit like if you played World of Warcraft, like sheeping a mob, or a player for that matter. Sort of optimize your position or use some kind of burst damage. I'm talking World of Warcraft. In order to kill a foe. Here's just to take pretty much the pace out of the game. Like here, for instance, again. And I'll have like, I don't know, 5 seconds to move away or do whatever I feel like. It's rather expensive mana-wise. Stone Curse, it's 40 mana. When the spell is, even when the spell's capped out. Just show you here, it's a level 2 spell. At level 16 it's 40 mana cost. I think there's quite a few times where I've sort of increased the spell level, say from 13 to 14 to 15 to 16, where I couldn't see any sort of mana cost reduction, and that has to do with I think that the length of the spell will be increased. So sometimes you'll get some kind of advantage. It doesn't show in the mana cost of the spell, but it could be like duration. It doesn't say anything about duration anywhere. But the mobs are obviously they are more sort of you could say vulnerable. They will stay I would say, yeah, stone cursed or frozen, call it what you want. Oh, this ring on the other, or amulet is more interesting, I'd say, because it dropped from one of the blood knights. Yeah, and you sort of shouldn't think that these guys were top tier. They go down as, yeah, soft hot butter. And it has to do with that, again, at level 16 my fireballs are kicking pretty much butt. We had 508 to 747 damage. So they're taking 2 to 3 fireballs. They have some kind of inbuilt resist, but it's still not enough to sort of save them from, I'd say, an average is 2 fireballs. Further, this sort of, what do you call it? The ring around the fireball itself will show that there's a splash damage around it, in contrary to, say, fire bolt, where you can see there's no sort of splash area around, like here. Bonus information. Let's see. It could be interesting to pick up the hammer just because it was dropped by Warhammer, because it was dropped by one of the blood knights. But even, I'd say in the best case scenario, meaning that if the Warhammer was say King's Warhammer of Haste, which I have never ever found, but even if it was, the base damage, I think it's 5 to 9 on a Warhammer, is just too low for the item to become really interesting. One becomes rather selective, you could say, here, with the items that drop, meaning that if I need a good one-handed melee weapon, then I will go for the one with the sort of maximum base damage, and that's the so-called Bastard Sword. It's 6 to 15, whereas within the Warhammer was 5 to 9. Big pack here, by the way. And another piece of jewelry dropped here. So scouting for jewelry, I usually pick up whatever items that are. And then we got another ring. So I'll try to remember that this ring and this amulet was from Blood Knights, and this was from the Drakes. So when I get up and identify stuff, you will see that they don't have to be fantastic, the items that drop from the high level mob. The Blood Knights, the highest level mob, actually, mobs cannot get any higher level than that. But there's good probability that they are way better level than the ring that dropped from the Drake. So I'm just checking out the map. Everything's alright. Getting ready. So I'm gonna go down now. I'm just getting ready to cast a new mana shield. You only got 4 hotkeys, so choose them wisely. And Fireball, Chain Lightning, Stone Curse and Teleport seems to be way to go. You can handle most situations, or all situations in the game like with these spells. And Chain Lightning and Fireball just seems to be the best sort of damage output. So that, yeah, that pretty much goes without saying. So these guys, I think they don't like, as I recall, lightning all that much. It's top tier, these kind of, what do you call them? They're called Balrogs, I think. We could call them, they look like Balrogs as well, so I'm thinking from Lord of the Rings. Tiny versions anyway. And with the Chain Lightning spell, I'm always trying to have the mobs in a cone in front of me. It can be a little difficult because there's probably mobs behind this wall. And wrong spell. As you can see, a lot of the Chain Lightning's actually trying to go sort of south of me down here, so there's probably a huge pack of mobs down there behind the wall. But if I sort of try to at least kill the mobs in one direction, then the lightnings will only sort of split in 2 directions. And as these sort of the Balrog guys here are kind of masters of sort of running around you 360 degrees, and I tend to actually move closer to them, depending on how many there are. If there are a ton of them, then yeah, I'm not gonna get close to them, not even. They do pack a punch. They might drop the ring while I was talking, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, actually they did. So another ring. Thought I heard it vaguely. So it dropped from one of the Snow Witches, which is sort of mid-tier, I would say. So I'm gonna move the ring over here. So we're talking Blood Knight, low-tier Drake, mid-tier Snow Witch. So you can see sort of when we get them identified what kind of prefix or suffix or both that they contain. And maybe I should do a little test just for fun to see if the Snow Witches and the Balrog are giving me full experience. I'll see if I can get a single mob. And we are still talking 38 times 200, meaning 7,600 on top of the 23 here. That's 31,200 if I get maximum experience. I'll see if I can lure one mob to me. And I can. So 38 times 200, that's 7,600 on top here. That's 31,200 I should get from this. And I didn't quite get that. I got 31,200. So I can see now that I didn't really know that actually, but it seems it's the mobs are sort of not giving me full experience anymore. I'd like to try these guys as well. I mean the mid-tiers. So I'm just gonna Stone Curse this guy. It's not that it matters that much yet. It's almost maximum experience, maximum possible experience gain. So 7,600 on top here. That should be then. I should be at 14,800. The last 5 digits. and 14,800. So you can see the Balrog here is still sort of higher tier than the Snow Witches, and I got full sort of experience. Just need a mouthful of coffee, 1 second. Oh, and by the way, these guys, it's a decapitated corpse. I actually had one of them in one of the previous runs that dropped the top tier, or not top tier, but best in slot item for warrior. I put it on my mules that I completely forgot to talk about. So I got 2 mules. Just gonna annihilate all these guys first. Oh, and that dropped another ring. It was from one of the Balrogs. Let's see. I had an idea. Oh yeah, there it is. That it was over here somewhere, and it's here. So this is from a Balrog, and you know, not while I still remember it, I think I'm gonna go up to town now, and then we can sort of identify the items together. So we are talking Blood Knight, top tier mob here, Blood Knight as well, and then low tier mob and mid tier, and I'd say high end tier, one of the Balrogs as well. It doesn't have to be anything good, but it's just to show you that...
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and
sort
listen.
Of typical stats, or... I'm just gonna identify all of them pretty quickly here, and then let's see what we have. So, first we are talking Blood Knight here. Obsidian Ring of the Titans. Pretty good ring, actually, especially for warrior. Resist all 38 is really, really strong. It's one of the best prefixes that you can get obsidian. And it'll be from, I think, from 31 to 40% resist all. So 38 is high end there as well. But as you can see, this dropped from one of the Blood Knights, meaning one of the top tier mobs, meaning that they have a chance to drop, say, a prefix like obsidian. Next, Amulet of the Heavens. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'm running around with something that's way better for me. Fit the 59 mana points alone. But let's say you had a pretty crappy neck, then 14 to all is a decent. It's the tier 2 of to all stats, meaning that Zodiac is the highest tier. It's from 16 to 20. This one is from, I think, 11 to 15 or something like that to all. And then we have sort of from the low tier mob, hit points plus 44. Yeah, sure, it's not terrible, but it's what's to expect it from a lower tier mob. 19 to sorcery, yeah, sure. And then we got from the mid tier the Balrog as well. So all that I'm gonna sort of move to one of my mules, and I forgot to talk about my mules again, is this one, Obsidian Ring of the Titans. Would be very good for a warrior project, that's
Whoa,
for sure.
what can I do
Just
for you?
gonna sell the others. Just making sure I'm not selling something that I'd like to keep, because the second you sell it, it's gone. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Normally, I mean, I would just continue, and then I would sort of identify the items when I get up to town, when I run out of mana. But I just wanted to, now that I had found so much jewelry to show you that there should be a difference in quality, you could say, depending on what kind of mob that drops the items. So I'm just going to continue with the mana that I have, so we can see how far I can get, sort of, with one full load, you could say, of mana in my inventory. And now, by the way, I have all the mobs here are sort of in a cone in front of me. And about my mules, again, so I made a mule with the magic items, meaning they will give sort of stuff to magic, like plus mana points or plus to, I don't know, sorcery, any kind of magic really, like that. And then I have another mule with just sort of basic magic items for any classes really. And it has to do with that eventually all sort of spell books will reach, it doesn't matter really if it's, maybe not all, but close to all spell books will reach a requirement of 255 magic. That's just how it is to read a higher level, say a level 10 or 11 level fireball. And at some point they reach 255. It's capped for how much magic is needed to learn a higher level spell. For instance, like from level 10 fireball to reading to become level 11 fireball, you might need 255 magic. And for sorcerer it's easy because I'm currently at 288 magic and cap is 250, but for warrior, for instance, magic is probably like cap of, I don't know, 80 or 70 or 100, I don't recall, but way lower than 255. So if you sort of equip a lot of items on the warrior that will give him extra magic, then he will have a chance to read higher level spells. And I'd like to make a warrior at some point. It'll become a new series, of course, but this game is not hack and slash only, it's also even for warrior. Even for warrior, it's important to have a lot of good spells. And the higher level spells, the better. Meaning that you can get, say, a reduction in spell cost. For instance, on, let's say, Stone Curse, that could be very useful for warrior. I dropped some kind of jewelry over here. Let's see. Okay, it was here somewhere. Oh, it's just... Oh, did I get it? Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I don't really need all this stuff here. So I use the set button in order to, zoom in. Set for zoom, I suppose. Anyway, I'm just gonna check out the map. I think I cleared everything. Ah, not true. There's something down in the corner here. Lower left corner. But even though some mobs are sort of lower tier than other, it doesn't mean that they can't drop, say, like a beast item, best in slot item. For instance, beast item headpiece for Sorcerer is this is called a skull cap. It can drop actually from, say, fairly low level if you're really lucky. Let's say the butcher on level 2, the demon that's always there on level 2. He would have a chance to drop. I can imagine a unique skull cap, for instance. So it's not like it's only top tier mobs that can drop top tier gear. Lower level mobs have a very slim chance of dropping uniques, and some of the uniques are beasts or best in slot. So we're talking steel lords now. They don't like lightning too much, nor does the soul burners here. And the soul burner that just died here is the one that actually dropped my ring here in the beginning, the dragon's ring, the one that I showed when the video started. The one that I exchanged for, it's one of the rings up at town. So because I haven't really cleared much, my lightnings here go in sort of all kinds of direction, and that makes the lightning spell rather weak. Not that I want to use fireball, because all the mobs here are immune to fireball. But I think I'm actually for once gonna corner myself here. Because it seems like at least not that many of the lightning spells will go in the other direction. Well, they kinda are. You know what? Let's change position then, ladies. There we go. So as you can see, as most of the lightning seems to want to travel north, then I sort of go south of the mobs here. But it's always a bit hard in the beginning to have the mobs sort of be in the right direction compared to your chain lightning spells. It's not like the spells or the lightnings will keep going north of me. If I go further south, then eventually it will sort of stop to try to travel north. But yeah, these soul burners are notoriously tough. Not to physical damage, but it could be it'll be rather annoying for warrior to try and catch them, and each time you get close to some of them, you'll sort of stir up more in the hive. So pretty much everything that drops from the soul burners, for instance, as they are top tier or rather high tier mobs, is rather interesting. I'm picking it up, the loot I mean, even though it's a buckler, which is a rather low level shield. So one mob, I'm not gonna say use a lot of sort of and a lot of my mana, you could say, on one mob. So I'm going in here to engage all the ladies here at once. There we go. And there's some kind of armor here on a stand, and I'll pick it up as well. So as usual, on level 15 here, you got like these sort of quadrants. And I've just cleared the first quadrant. Maybe it was even the second, and that's where I started. So now things become easier because all of the mobs are sort of north of me. That means that all my lightnings will travel north of me. Meaning that, yeah, you can see that the volleys are somewhat way more concentrated. Oh. It's not like a large axe with a two-handed weapon with 16 damage. It's not that good, but as it dropped from one of the succubus, I'm kind of interested in what kind of stats they are able to provide on an axe. I know kings can drop, but it's very, very rare. And if you wanna have some kind of kings on a melee weapon, then your chances of getting it is much higher by simply visiting the blacksmith. Yeah, I'm running a little low on mana. I think I'm out, actually. Wait. So, I was kind of cornering myself here, but to get the best angle on the lightning spell, the lightnings that travels out from the sorcerer. So all the mobs, I want them, if I can get them to pile up here, as they just did there. As you can see, and now all the lightnings are traveling through them, and they die pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna do the same all over, try to pull them up here. But being sort of low on mana here, I didn't want to corner myself anyway. Probably a bad idea, and there's a good chance I'm running out of mana. So I have a little room left in my inventory. Yeah, so I was thinking that maybe I could pick up an item from Lazarus' quarters. You know what? It's too dangerous. I mean, getting this low and engaging the full room in there by Lazarus. If you've seen some of the previous videos or know something about Diablo 1 here, you'll know that on level 15 it's always these 4 quadrants. You got one here, one there, and the one I'm standing in is the third. So we've got a 4th quadrant up here, and that's where Lazarus resides. It's always the same on level 15. The map can change ever so slightly, but that's about it. I'm gonna go identify the stuff that I found. Only the ring could really be interesting of what I have. The rest is sort of mediocre stuff.
Hello, my
At least
friend.
for Sorcerer.
Stay a while and
So
listen.
even the ring wasn't that interesting. It will give me a ton of money though, a ton of gold.
Well, what can I do for you?
Especially the plates. I think, well, it's not even that bad. And repairing. So up to the witch for the first time, and as you can see, I could clear fully level 13, 14, and probably 75% or something like that of level 15 with one sort of mana load. I'm just gonna drop excessive piles of gold here, and like I said, I don't really have much to use them for. I could make some shopping rounds if I wanted to.
I sense a soul in search of answers.
She has nothing for sale really that I'm interested in anyway. But what I could do is making, like I said, shopping rounds, meaning making new games over and over again, visiting especially the blacksmith, but also Word, the peg-legged boy, over in the left corner. And as long as I'm not capped out on all spells, just for, I don't know, nursing my OCD, then I could get the last 2 elemental books. But I might as well just get them as drop while I'm farming experience below. The Book of Elemental can drop. And I've had quite a few of them drop actually. Probably, I don't know, maybe half of them. And the other half I bought from the witch. What's draining the most on my mana pool is actually the cost of the chain lightning spell. So one of the I don't know what you would call them, the bodyguards of Lazarus apparently got hit by some of the chain lightning that I was spamming, and it was sort of this white witch. She's lying under the shield there, and she dropped leather armor. Yeah, sure, fine. We can see just for the fun of it what kind of stats that she can provide. She's considered a very high level mob, so she has a chance to drop very interesting loot. Except when it's on a leather armor, it's not that interesting really, because, yeah, to be honest, I think only like full plate is really interesting for me at this point. Not for Sorcerer, because this plate is beast or best in slot. The only thing that can be improved on this plate is its armor value. It's 42 if you look down below here. It can be 50, and that's the other stats are fixed on it. But I cannot get any better plate than this. Not as I see it anyway. Because it has a spell to increase 1 level. That means that it will give me extra damage. Yeah, a bit silly of me. I should probably finish by Lazarus. The reason why I didn't want to do that is I haven't really got... They always drop an item, and I mean, Lazarus and two lady friends here. So this is where Lazarus is always standing, and they got one of his lady friends there, and the other one there. Now she moved. She moved out, and I killed her, the white one before, the one that dropped the leather armor here. That's why I don't see sort of three sort of, what do you call it, lightning spaces here. Special mobs have light radius just as I do. And it's very concentrated here. You can see Lazarus here. And his body next to him. By the way, items that drop, say, from chests or barrels, they can be interesting as well. I got a theory, I don't know about it for sure, but I got a theory that an item that dropped from a chest or a barrel will have the same quality as the other mobs on the map.
Abandon your foolish quest. All the my master. You are too late to save the child. Now you enjoy it in hell.
And Lazarus to go.
Your madness ends here, betrayer.
So, just for the fun of it, because it's utter crap here, I'll pick up the rags, and there was a splint mail as well. Just to see what kind of stats the bosses here will provide. That's always interesting, because if they were to put some really badass stats on a leather armor, then or rags for that instance, that means they can actually put the same stats on a full plate mail. And all of a sudden you could have a really good item. Then, yeah, I'm sorry about my yawning, it's pretty late. I think it's a bit above midnight. So, almost done here. Missing a little bit here on the lower quadrant. There we go. That's it. So, down to Diablo. And the chests and barrels, like I said, they have a chance to contain items. I'm pretty sure of it. From countless hours of playing Diablo 1. And I know it has usually been the fact that that can drop some pretty decent stuff, and like I said, I got from a it goes for decapitated souls as well. It's corpses lying without a head. They will usually drop a little bit of gold. But as I said previously, I had Beast or Best in Slot drop for Warrior, which is a unique crown. It's on my mule at the moment. I can show you later my loot when I move on to Hell difficulty. But that decapitated corpse was on level 15 on Hell difficulty here. Well, it's nightmare difficulty, but in the Hell area. And now we have our good buddies here, the Block Knights again. I made a little, by the way, a little bit of change to my hotkeys. Stone Curse and Fireball will do here. So there's no reason to have Chain Lightning in the... Normally I'll set up Fireball is probably the spell I use the most. And Chain Lightning the second. And then Stone Curse the third, and I'll teleport fourth. But I'm not gonna use chain lightning. All the mobs here are immune to chain light or to lightning. On the final level 16 here. Yeah, I'm a little fat fingering my spells. Meaning that I used a lot of mana. Unnecessary, and it's okay. This doesn't look so pro. I mean, there's no reason to sort of chain Stone Curse mob. And about the level 16 here, it's always the same as well. Meaning that I've got these sort of 4 quadrants. And well, I always try and clear them the same way, just because it's the safest. Meaning that I clear all sort of the external areas of the quadrants. And then I start sort of opening up the insides. This quadrant is always the hardest, by the way. Top left, where I'm about to go in now, because it's sort of already opened. All the mobs are... There's no walls to sort of disguise yourself or your light radius behind. So I'd say the Blood Knights, at least for Sorcerer, is the worst mobs because I get interrupted when I get hit. Huge packs of these advocates. Rather annoying as well. And I wouldn't be able to do this on Hell difficulty because they simply dish out too much damage. So, Sorcerer is here. Very interesting actually. Unless it's a unique, because the unique ring is pretty crappy. Okay. This could be a very, very good item, because it drops from Sorcerer, and he's probably the highest tier mob that is in the game. Again, it's no guarantee that you will get a top tier item. You just have the option, you could say, to drop both the best prefix and suffix on items. Another thing is that I'm not quite sure, even though I played a lot of hours on Hell difficulty as well, there doesn't seem to be that much difference on the gear from Nightmare to Nightmare difficulty to Hell difficulty. But maybe it's because that the really, really, really good items are extremely rare. Getting the best prefix and the best suffix on the same item is pretty much like the probability of that is pretty much like winning in the lottery. And if you then further take that all of the items, say like, let's see, yeah, let's take dragons. It's one of the top prefixes. It can go from 51 to 60 mana, meaning so this item in itself have some variety. So if you were to get the two best, say, prefix and suffix, that would be, say, Dragon's Ring or the Zodiac, then you can have a variety of 51 to 60 mana, and Zodiac you can have from 16 to 20 all stats, for instance. So just... And the stats themselves are really rare to begin with, so... Perfect items are... yeah, pretty much as rare as seeing 2 unicorns on the same day. Something like that. But still, yeah. It's always... interesting to see if one can improve gear a little bit. Rather crowded there. Also, a good thing about Stone Curse is that you can make sort of a roadblock using the mobs themselves as a kind of a roadblock. So if you have a huge pack coming at you, that you can sort of pretty much block them by their own bodies, really. So 2 full quadrants cleared, the top left and top right here. And I'm going down to the bottom left. It's always in the same order, and then finally the bottom right here, as you can see, it's still closed. I still need to open a couple of levers or levers up here. Hello. And normally I sort of lure out the mobs, the melee mobs, but in one of these sort of 4 openings that are here around this block here. But he's so strong now that I can pretty much work my way forward as soon as I'm in. So a couple of white items dropped, not that interesting. I just opened the last quadrant. As you can see, there are now 4 openings here because I opened 2 levers. Alrighty, usually I just double check that none of the mobs sort of, like this one for instance, escaped. It could be also a little bit annoying as as when I sort of stir up the hive in the last quadrant, then all of a sudden I could get a fireball in my back from out of nowhere. Oh, I already stirred up the big guy. I was just about to say it's probably a bit risky trying to get to him with this low sort of mana. I should be alright, as long as he sort of stays away from me. So I'm luring him as far away from the other mobs as possible. Now I'm just teleporting far away from him so he won't sort of get agitated by my light radius, and he should be kind of lost now compared to where I wanted him. I'd like to sort of exterminate the last quadrant down here. He might pop up, but I don't think he will. Oh, I actually forgot I had a lot of mana here. That's nice. I dropped them in the beginning here because I had still one here. Was because I needed the space back then in order to pick up an item, I think. And like I said before, there's really no reason to kill Diablo because he's the game stops when he dies. So even if he did drop an item, which I think I've seen him drop an item once or twice. It's very rare that he drops something, but it's no better quality than any of the other mobs. I think it's usually a white item, I think. But the game stops and you're sort of forced to watch a movie that's not that interesting, at least not when you've seen it like 20 times before. So that's it, guys. I'm just gonna go up to town. I think I was at 127 million. And as you can see now, that I'm at 131, almost 132 million. So that's rather typical that I'll get around 5 million experience. And as I go up, let's say when I get to level 45, then the formula is still 45 times 200 experience, meaning that I'll get 9,000 experience per mob. When I get that high, I have to get the experience on hell difficulty level. For now, I'm gonna continue a bit more. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna make around 10 runs after this video and then make a new video. But I'm just gonna identify, especially the necklace here could be very, very interesting because it dropped from Sorcerer. So let's get this pointed. It could also
Hello,
just be
my
crap.
friend. Stay a while and listen.
And as you can see, by the way, Saintly Armor of the Lion, it's a decent armor. Had it been a full plate, it would have been a really nice armor. But it wasn't, it was just a leather armor. And that's why I pick up these sort of armors from bosses. Or sort of high tier mobs. And amulet, let's see what it is. Oh well, it was a Zodiac, top tier to all, dropped from Sorcerer. Had this supposed to be a perfect item, it would have been 20 to all, and Zodiac is a suffix. Prefix could have been, say, Obsidian or Dragon. So Dragon's Amulet of the Zodiac or Obsidian Amulet of the Zodiac would have been sort of almost perfect stats for almost all characters. I have a couple of zodiacs, so and 16 is sort of in the lower end, so I'm just gonna sell these.
Well, what can I do for you?
But usually when you get this item in sort of the beginning of your career of clearing level 13 to 16 down by Diablo, then it's usually a keeper, you could say. The Zodiac stat. I'm just gonna pick up the other two items that I have. These two rings would be really cool for a warrior project. Resist all 38 and 24 to strength, and what's equivalent of 49 mana and 40 hit points. Also very good booster ring for a warrior. So I'm just gonna go up to town. Sorry, not up to town, but up to the witch and replenish my mana. And after that, I'm pretty much ready for a new round. If I'm really lucky, she will have the spellbook that I need, the elemental. But she probably
I sense a soul in search of answers.
Let's see. No, she doesn't have any books at all, so it's okay. There you go. And that's it, guys. 5 million experience and 1 ring. This one, the richer. So I'm gonna put these two on my mule, and then yeah, I'm good to kick some ass again. So as usual, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully, take care. Bye bye.